Oke, selamat malam teman-teman semuanya. Selamat hadir kembali di acara OMK Summer Roman Series. Saya akan memberikan semacam pengantar dulu terhadap film yang akan kita tonton malam hari ini dalam acara Cinema Divina, film Song to Song. Bagi yang sudah ikut Cinema Divina bagian pertama 2 minggu yang lalu, mungkin sudah sedikit background. Tapi saya pikir saya perlu saya ulangi sedikit saja untuk refresh memory, begitu juga pengantar untuk film hari ini. Baik, saya akan share dulu ini. Oke. Kelihatan ya sudah. Jadi film Song to Song, Terrence Malick 2017, this 2017 the movie. Seperti yang kalian ketahui, salah satu tema dari movie dari Terrence Malick itu adalah tentang paradise. That his signature theme. Jadi paradise, why that? What is paradise? How do we lose it? And then how that things that we regain it? Or where's the paradise? That's his theme really in all his movie. 1973, Badland is about Adam and Eve. That's the character Holly and Kit, gitu ya. Itu the young Martin Sheen. And then the paradise, the background, I think that in this wilderness, I think that in Montana, that's I think that he tried to portray that. That's 73. Okay. And then 1978, in the movie Days of Heaven, this more depiction of Cain and Abel. Again, I think that there's an issue of paradise again. I think that, but from modern day of Cain and Abel, this character Richard Gere, thinks that the young Richard Gere at the time. Again, I think that he used the difference. I think that depiction of paradise here. And then Thin Red Line, that's 1998, after 20 years of hiatus. This is, I think, the story of the war, but he used the background of island Guadalcanal as the new paradise. Ketika itu kan. So that's here. There's the Guadalcanal is a paradise, but there's a figure of new Adam as the new Jesus, as a Jesus here. So the first Adam lost the paradise, as new Jesus who regained the paradise. Okay. Then in the movie, I think that the new world. I think this is I think that 2005. He used I think that now the new Eve. I think the new paradise is the land of Virginia. The Virginia, I think that is a new paradise with the new Eve. It is Pocahontas. That's the movie. So she's the new Eve. Okay. So the consistent theme of paradise, and then the tree of life. This is again the setting that is in Texas, in Austin, Texas, but it's pretty clear issue of things that how that we regain paradise with the tree of life, that we need to go back there, things that after we banish our parents, here they were nature and grace. That's significant theme of paradise. Then this is the movie that we watched 2 weeks ago, To the Wonder, depiction of paradise from the Mont Saint Michael Abbey, just the nickname Le Merveille, which is the wonder. This is the new paradise that in the movie. So remember that I showed a story of Aquinas, Exitus Reditus, all coming back from God. This is from the Garden of Eden. And then we all things that fall into sins from our first parents, exit from paradise, but going back again. There's still the schema, the new creations, through resurrections, and then through Christ's resurrections, we bake again to redemption. So that's the theme I think that he want to show in this movie. Start from the Le Merveille and going back to Le Merveille. Thanks that to two story that start from paradise and going back to paradise. Okay. So the theme that he want to use then to the wonder, we discussed that. Exitus Reditus. Coming here, human pursuit of love is selfish, distemper, fracture, but grace is always bring us back to the paradise again, to redemption. This is the theme that he consistently used in his movie. We discussed that 2 weeks ago. So he made movie Tree of Life 2011, and 2013 he made To the Wonder. People may wonder whether these two movies are companion works of Malik. So people something about that, but that's not quite, because the things that he made it, I think that quite different, idea, because To the Wonder is the beginning of the 3 new series. So in 2016, he produced the movie Knight of Cups. This with Christian Bale. Did not win any award. Mixed review from critics. Disappointing ticket sales. Only that's I think that this Berlin Film Festival gets some nomination but didn't win anything. He released this movie 2016. At the same time when Pope Francis issued Amoris Laetitia. I think that in the same month, basically. So what's about Knight of Cups, okay? Knight of Cups, this is based on the tarot card. The idea is that, so basically this is about the man who is the things that show that he's a restless soul wandering in the emotional desert. He searches for salvation. This character. He is successful screenwriter. The story is Richard Bale Hill, but he, a restless soul, lost in the desert. Shows so the corruption effects of fame and success to one's man's soul. So how the success may corrupt our souls. In the end, he has no overarching goal. There's no clear objective to pursue. He's just wandering. He's screenwriter living in Los Angeles. Here he used LA not really as paradise, but LA as the Babylon, the modern day Babylon, a great wealthy empire, but full with vice and decadence. So this is completely lost, this movie about this man, about Christian Bale here, I think, so the character that he just to show it in the Knight of Cups here. This is, some say, the darkest movie that he ever produced. Basically, that character of Rick, that's Richard, Christian Bale, and Ben Affleck nailed into the Wanderer, same character. They just both a lost soul wandering in the landscape. Similar character he want to portray. This lost soul. So then tonight we will see the Song of Song. It was released in 2017. So the major theme here is the idea of human beings as wandering souls, divorced from divinity, ever bent toward evil, and struggling to redemption. Sorry, this is I think struggling to redemption. 2017, it was released the same year when Donald Trump was inaugurated as president. This is interesting. Coincidence again. So, what about this movie was special? Okay, if we look this, he began his career 73 in Batland. He was 30 years old at the time. 78, he made the Apex. He won the Academy Award. 20 years of hiatus. 98 with Thin Red Line, and then 2005 the New World. But then suddenly he was become very productive in 2000s. You see that 78, 98, 20 years he didn't do anything. But from 2011 to 2017, he produced 4 different movies. But at the time, by the time he produced 2017, Malik already 73 3 years old. So people might say this is the end of his movie. Actually, he already reached the end of his career, people say. There's nothing interesting anymore about this movie. Tapi mungkin orang sudah bilang ini sudahlah. Dia sudah tua, sudahlah. Kamu sudah letih dan lelah, katanya. Cukup sudah. Orang sudah berkata begitu. Because in the end, Song of Song was not successful in the box office. But this movie in some way was his most successful movie, depicted the idea of the paradise. We will talk about that later after we watch this movie. Okay. 2016, 2017, this is I think another movie, La La Land. This is box office. I'm sure that most of you watched this movie by Ryan Gosling. And he also played in this movie, in Malik's movie. This movie, La La Land, was very successful box office. But then, Song to Song was not successful at all. These two completely different opposite movie. La La Land is about the success and pursuit of big dreams. That's the story about that. You all know, I presume that you watched the movie. But Song to Song is different genre. It's about the risk in pursuing a big dreams that you may lose your soul. Okay. 2017, he produced Song to Songs. 2018, another box office movie, A Star is Born. It's a remake movie, but pretty successful, by Lady Gaga. Here are things that Song to Song is about failure, forgiveness, and simpler life. That's, I think, he wanted to convey that how that we can regain the paradise, the movie. But 2018, that successful movie with Star is Born is about success, fame, and in the end nihilism, because this main character thinks that he killed himself. Thinks that, although there's similar tragedy also in Song to Song, but there's a redemption story in there. Again, I presume that most of you watch Star is Born, this box office movie, tapi belum banyak yang mungkin melihat Song to Song. And tonight we will see that why this movie I think is different, but also have meaningful message, especially to Catholics, young Catholics like you. Okay. Remember that I used the things that Augustinians, Saint Augustine's, in last presentations. It's about the soul. Soul is the locus, the place of memory. Soul is the home, emotion, hope, dream, sensational, and collective experiences. Jadi tentang jiwa-jiwa yang terus letih dan mencari, that the soul is wandering in the deserts. Again, the similar themes. So if Bang Joe made presentation 2 weeks ago that about he's using that Heidegger, I think that I'm not completely agree with that, because in the sense I think that Malik in some way I think he's more Augustinian, because he used something about the theme is very Augustinian. It's true that Malik I think that in some way influenced by Heidegger, because he wanted to make dissertation on Heidegger, but he never finished his doctoral study. But not completely Heideggerian, because I think in some way he was very Augustinian also, because he's talking about the souls. But anyhow, I think that we can have a separate discussion about that. But my point is that this his signature theme is about wandering soul. This is the depiction of these 4 characters. Faye by Rooney Mara is Beefy. This is the things that Ryan Goslings, and the cook and the Rhonda. This is that Natalie Portman. This is the movie that in the Song to Song, the characters, all wandering souls, struggling, things that with the finding meaning of life and start striving about redemptions. Remember that this is the human beings, wandering souls, divorced from divinity, ever bent toward evil and struggling toward redemptions. So this is about this movie. Okay. This movie, I think that you may think is not really, means that Christians, it's not about saints, itu bukan tentang orang-orang suci atau apa, tapi sangat biblical dalam artian ini yang pertama, basis dia itu adalah the Book of Songs. Siska will explain it more about that. You know the citation from God is Love, Deus Caritas Est, Pope Benedict XVI. He wrote something about Song of Song here, but Siska will discuss this more later in her presentations. I just give the introductions. Okay. Another inspiration for Malik is from the book John Milton, Paradise Lost. So one his homework for the actor or actress who played this movie read this book, Paradise Lost. Okay. This is from the idea is from the Gospel of Mark 8:36. What profit is there anyone gain the whole world but lost your own soul? Jadi apa maknanya kalau kau bisa menguasai dunia, berkesuksesan tapi kehilangan jiwamu? Itu jadi tema utama di sini dan juga berdasarkan Milton of Paradise Lost. Okay, apa maksudnya di sini buku ini? It's a good book. Kalau kalian mau baca Paradise Lost, is something that good to read. Yeah, for your amusement and for your knowledge. If you remember from the last movie, To the Wonder, why that Marina, there's a thing, cheated on means that her husband, man of his love, or her man of her love. Part of it because there's someone that who tried to convince her to do that. You know, this character's her friend, the Italian woman. She said that live while you can now. That's still young, beautiful. Your whole life in front of you. Live and do what you like. Life's a dream. In a dream, you can't make mistakes. In a dream, you can be whatever you want. So basically, it's a serpent's tale. The story of the serpent, the Garden of Eden, tried to seduce Adam and Eve. So it's always character of the serpent who try to corrupt the soul. This basically also the story in this movie. The dynamic character from all of these four of main characters is about the serpent's tale. How that we lost the paradise, and things that because I think the serpent who played the role and tempted us to do that, and then forbidden fruit, and of course corrupt our soul. In this movie, things that you can see that spoiler a little bit, things that again remember that from Gospel of Mark, what profit is there for one to gain the whole world but you lose your own soul? Okay, here are things that the character of the serpent, you can see this is a cook, this man. So he's dynamic with the three main characters. With Rhonda, he promised her a wealthy life by marrying her, but then he ended up, the price is that he has an open marriage. Then with Beefy, he promised him an album, but the price that he just a tricky contract. Then with Faye Rooney Mara, he promised her a contract, but then the price is unhealthy sexual relationship. Okay, there's always a price from the serpents that he give you. I need to give you this background, not really to spoil, but you know that the dynamic in this movie. Okay, but again, what happened after the loss, the fall in the gardens? As St. Paul said in the book of Romans, through one person sin entered the whole world, and through sin death. Does death come to all in so much as sin? So the price is that there's also death in this movie. Then Siska will explain more about the death here, why that there's one character ended up death and could not find the solutions from the situation like that. But there's of course a story of redemption and glory, because John Milton, he wrote two books, first Paradise Lost, and second Paradise Regained. So here there's also story of redemption, story of things that glory, also glory of the Christ resurrection from this movie. Since what happened, I'm not going to give you detail, and Siska will explain it more. But this point here, I think after the fall, there's redemption in this movie. So I think that's the general descriptions about the movie, just introductions. Just one more thing before we stop. I think that okay, this why I give these comparisons. This movie also about I think pursuing the musical career. Yeah, Song to Song, the background is in Austin, Texas, Austin Music Festival. Same things that here, this Star is Born is about pursuing musical career. Song to Song is also the same, but with different genre. So Austin Music Festival is a background is movie. So you will see many musical scene in this as a background. But this only things that Malik want to show that there's a become background, but the real background in the end, I think that the Paradise itself, I think that Siska will explain more about the depiction of paradise in this movie. But the point is that I think redemption and glory, this will bring back to the paradise that that we lost already in the first place. Okay, I think that that the short introduction from me. Things that we can. Okay, hold on.
Oke, Romo, saya stop recording-nya ya.
Yeah.